So I finally got into Heart of Thorns content, and hopefully you guys didn't click on this video just to see the numerous times that I was going to die to pocket raptors. And if you did, shame on you. Anyway, here are my thoughts and some highlights from stream where I actually set foot into the legit Maguma jungle and what I thought about the increase in graphic design, the change in dialogue, and the added mechanics for combat. If you like the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys at the next one. Even though I'd already really loved the core maps, especially anything with snow and mountains in Lornar's Pass, I could see why people kept saying, just wait until you get into Heart of Thorns, because the jungle is absolutely gorgeous. Right when I got in, all I wanted to do is take screenshots, and I got the bug saying my screenshot folder was full. But for some reason, I thought that it really was full, so I went through all of this stuff to move my screenshot folder and have the game create a new one, and I still got the bug, so I'll have to keep going back to the beginning and taking pictures of the waterfall right there and all of the trees and vines, and it was just, like, all of the water coming through the cliffs was absolutely gorgeous. It was just really funny that I'm like, wow, have I really taken that many screenshots in the game and I haven't even gotten to Heart of Thorns? Although, to be fair, I've probably taken like 5 screenshots per vista, and I have like 50% of the map cleared.
Fine. Let's talk to these highlights.
And after Living World Season 2, your character finally gets her voice back, although for most of it, it's not those like storyboard cutscenes anymore. It's the same as everything that you were doing in Living World Season 2 for story, where you would follow around the NPCs and they would just have the ambient dialogue boxes over their heads. But that happened for your character too. And that was even more immersive. Although, with certain parts of the story, when you get to them, especially this beginning portion when you're talking to everyone about saving those who are imprisoned, either from the Pact or the Sylvari or whomever, that they did have an actual cutscene. But it wasn't the storyboard, like, funnily enough, because I liked it in the beginning, one character on one side, the other character on the other, and their mouths moving and having it not actually match the dialogue, even though, again, I liked it because I was used to how things worked in Final Fantasy XIV. For this, it's like the characters panning over everything. So it's really like you're watching them conversate, but it's not an actual cutscene. It's not cutscene graphics. It's what the NPCs actually look like in the world. It's just a close-up. And so I actually thought that was really cool. And again, like everyone said, I agree. It's definitely a step up in storytelling and design.
Will be at your disposal.
And mastery points. I was finally able to unlock them. Not that I really cared, because I wanted to do everything in order. And with that said, the first elite spec, even though I'd had it open before I even started Living World Season 2, because I'd done so much map completion to get the hero points to unlock it, I'm planning on trying Tempest, because it came out in Heart of Thorns, and then Weaver in Path of Fire. But regardless, it's really neat that you have all of these choices for different areas, and there are certain abilities that you would put mastery points into and that would evolve that would help you actually do the story and navigate the map. So I can understand why people were saying gliders are super pertinent to this map. And so far, I've thought it was really gorgeous, and I've thought the multiple layers to the map are a lot of fun. I'm assuming that people were saying once I get to Tangled Depths, even though it's really pretty, that it'll start to get irritating, especially with certain hero points. And I can see that, but overall, gliding is a ton of fun. I don't have many glider skins, but I did take time to mess with the one I had and make sure it matched my outfit, of course, like endgame content. But just the idea, going back to the mastery points, is that there's a lot of content in WoW that you wouldn't necessarily go back to unless you wanted to farm a mount. And usually that would be raids, right? You wouldn't actually have to go out on the map back in, the Barrens or Tearsfall Glades, which are one of my two favorites, or like Grizzly Hills. In fact, now you can actually skip portions of the map and just start in a whole new starting area, catch up super quick, and just be in the Maw or, you know, Shadowlands or whatever. And that's really unfortunate because people had spent all of this time working on these maps, and all of the quests for the actual quest hub, if you pay attention and read them, are actually pretty cool. I know not a lot of people did that, but some did. And the same goes for Final Fantasy XIV. It's a bit better, though, because when they had the relics come out in Shadowbringers, one of the things that you had to do was you would either have to farm these old raids for memories, or you would have to go back to Heavensward content and farm fates. And if anybody doesn't know what fates are, they're like these big, almost like world boss type things, meta events. It's more like a meta event, actually, and the way that the hearts are actually done in Guild Wars 2. And so you would go back, and that's kind of the only content, really, unless you're doing a bunch of hunts, which is more like world bosses, that people would kind of like congregate and attack something and get something done. And so their idea with pushing how you farm for this relic content actually really, really helped a lot of people go back to these Heavensward areas. Whereas once you'd done the MSQ through these areas, unless you had stuff to unlock, or that you were farming, again, like materials for crafting or gathering or whatever, there was no real reason to go back to these areas, except also maybe to take screenshots or something. And so that was a really good push. But having these mastery points and the way that they work, especially since you have to get some that are in Central Tyria, like, you want to get auto loot, you have to go back to Central Tyria and you have to do map completion or whatever and level up, like hearts, even if that's what you're doing. So I honestly think it's a really good system. I can see why people disliked it, because it's extra abilities that you would think just through leveling that you would get, but it actually promotes the exploration of the maps that they put a lot of work into. It's a whole nother trait line for you to level on top of having to go back and get more hero points anyway, for if you want to try a different elite spec, or let's say for some reason you didn't get all of the hero points you needed and hadn't finished all of your regular specializations for your builds, again, you have to go back anyway. So I think it's neat, honestly, and I'm kind of weird, and I like having an experience bar at the bottom of my game, so just the idea that I'm still kind of leveling is neat. And I can see why people said, you know, now you're past the tutorial and the real leveling begins, because there are a lot of abilities that you unlock through mastery points. Speaking of the tutorial and the new player experience, I can honestly say as a new player, which, funnily enough, whenever I talk about, obviously this is a meme, but whenever I talk about my opinion of the game, people say that I haven't played it long enough. I'm not a vet that has 4,000 hours. But then if I say I'm still a new player, people are like, what? You're not a new player anymore, lol. But regardless, the idea coming in as a new player and having played World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV, both tab target MMOs, both high up on the list of MMOs for population, I actually think that the new player experience in the tutorial for Guild Wars 2 is better than the other two games. And I'll tell you why. So for World of Warcraft, when you start out playing your character, they actually just added an extra tutorial that teaches you how to use, you know, your little abilities when you start. And they also have a tutorial for around max level, for like if you want to boost your character, when you boost, before you can actually go out into the world, you have to learn how to use your abilities. But a lot of the fights in dungeons and raids for WoW is just kind of keeping something CC'd and away from you, or just preventing it from casting, or having a priority, like a kill priority, based on what could do more damage, what might give shields to other things, and what might heal. And a lot of people still don't follow that priority, especially when you get into PvP, and things should be, you know, healers should be killed immediately, whatever. And that doesn't always happen. In Final Fantasy XIV, they do a really good job showing you how dungeons and raids scale up in difficulty. Actually, especially dungeons, because every single dungeon has a new added ability, right? And so it just scales with you as you level. And of course, you have your class trainers, essentially, that kind of teach you how to... a nutshell, use some of your abilities. A lot of people said that for Guild Wars 2, with the game just dropping you in and not teaching you how to do things like dodge, and they put in the dodge tutorial, and not teaching you how to, get out of red AoEs or look at tells or anything like that, it was a detriment to the game and it could ruin the new player experience, and people might give up
looks like
really
a
quickly.
frog.
I actually think it's the opposite.
Oh, I'm getting.
I think that there are a lot of maps that increase in difficulty, even though it scales with you for both HP and the abilities that all of your enemies can use. And you can see these abilities under the health bar. And then all of a sudden, they have a defiance bar, and so it might tell you what an enemy does. It might not tell you how to counter it. And I honestly think that that's the best way to teach someone, at least for the way I learn. So it's like, okay, this creature knocks down, this creature is unstoppable, this creature stuns or reflects projectiles, and you actually have to look at your kit and go, okay, so then if this enemy does this, this, and this, how do I counter it? Well, maybe I shouldn't use Arcane Blast because it's a projectile finisher, or things like that. And so you have to actually mold your utility skills and your build for these certain areas, or even just specific enemies or story portions. So you actually have to know what your abilities do as well to make sure that you can counter these things, or to make sure that you're taking as least damage as possible and not messing up. And as far as things like the AoEs and break bars go, it's just kind of like learn by doing. If you stand in an AoE, you're gonna get hit. Or you can actually see that for different fights, there's a different duration for the AoE. There's a lot less time for you to dodge out of it. Or there's a little bit of a blast finisher, which is also something that you can do with your fields and finishers that actually hits and splashes a little bit outside of where that red AoE was supposed to be. So I think it does a much better job of teaching you not necessarily fights or anything like that, but it teaches you how you should create your build. It teaches you how you should know your class. If you need to swap to a weapon, if swapping to that weapon would help you be at range, because if you're in melee, it's going to knock you back, or something to that effect. I also really liked that the idea of having the masteries, and the very first one that you have to get in Heart of Thorns is basic gliding. Now, right when you get in, if you don't have this mastery leveled, you have to get basic gliding first before you can continue with the story. Now, people might just look at that as a gatekeeping, topic. They're trying to time gate it, right? But instead, it's, I guess I really need to use gliding for the story. And I think that's a really cool way to implement it. It's not saying, hey, you need gliding to, to actually participate and do this story. It's, you should probably get gliding first, and then we'll let you talk to certain people so that you can figure out how to get through the map. Plus, again, it also forces you to explore and see that, okay, now there aren't any hearts, and there are meta events, and there are different creatures that come out at night, and everything is on different levels. There's stairs everywhere. There's fall points everywhere. And it teaches you how to navigate it without teaching you how to navigate it. Another quest that I actually thought was really cool, kind of quest, it was part of the story, but you have to fly past this little frog bard scout. He literally just sits there and plays his lute and watches people glide by. So technically he is scouting, but all of the other frog scouts pick on him. And literally it says that you need to get his attention by gliding by him, because that's the only thing that he notices. So it also inadvertently teaches you, or unbeknownst to you, rather, is teaching you trajectory of gliding as well. So I honestly think it does a really good job in all of those aspects, and I think it gets even better in Heart of Thorns because it's more immersive. And I actually like that better than a big box that's like, hey, this is how to use your ability, or hey, this is now applicable. It's, maybe you should consider having this before you start the story. In fact, we're not going to let you start the story until you have this. That's how important it is. Without also going too much into the lore, one of the things that I thought was cool is a portion of the story is called The Jungle Provides. And these Itzul whatever they're called, these frogs, are living in the jungle, and they're fighting against all of the Mordrum and all of, Mordremoth's minions, and you're helping protect their little area, and they're saying, the jungle provides, and the jungle provided me with someone fighting against me, or fighting with me to protect this area. And I think it's so cool because it's like, the jungle is Mordremoth. So it's just like, it's so funny when a lot of, NPCs that you come across say that the dragons are inherently evil, and I don't think so. I think a lot of things are just misinterpreted, especially with this. Like, the jungle gave these frogs a home. There's things for them to eat and hunt and do whatever they do. And I think that line is awesome. The jungle provides. Like, yeah, Mordremoth isn't inherently bad. They're just little, hitches in the system, but I thought that was cool. Also, everyone was right. The music was a step up as well, as is the environment, and I'm excited to delve even further and get to, like, Auric Basin. But the other thing that I thought was really cool is just the graphics for the actual portions of the cinematic, that they don't look like storyboard, but it's an actual cutscene. So when you're trying to save Air and Fallon, Air already looks crazed, like she's been imprisoned after actually not leaving the pact, and having the ship get attacked, and not only is she imprisoned, but she's been imprisoned with Fallon, and she's trying to run away, and then Fallon stabs her and all of this stuff, and just like her eyes are bloodshot, and she has all of these wounds that correspond with things that you saw her go through, like her falling out of this like vine prison and all of this, and it's really neat. So the attention to detail is fantastic. And anyway, I had a great first day playing Heart of Thorns, getting into Heart of Thorns, rather. I'm really excited to see where the story goes. I'm really excited to complete this map as well and see what I can do with gliding and see what I will actually die to, since everybody was assuming that I would die the moment I got into the expansion. But enjoy the rest of the highlights, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Don't forget to check the links down below as well. If you haven't played Guild Wars 2 in a while and you need a new account, or if you want to try the game, I will have a link there as well. The full base game is free. This portion actually is, if you didn't know, the first expansion. And so this is an actual price. This and Path of Fire are $30, but they go on sale all the time. And there's no subscription, so if you did want to buy the game, these are the things that you would buy. And if you didn't, just creating an account supports me, so the link down below that says Xandri Guild Wars 2 helps me out. So thanks, guys.
Nothing can bring me down. Not enough energy.
thus far. Impressive. But you'll go no further.
Quickly.
And you'll never leave.
Defense, then offense. Quickly.
Let's do this. Muscle protects me. I cannot be harmed.
The blooms are healing any damage we do. Take them out so we can finish this.
Plenty of fire grenades left in those crates. Let's see if these blooms burn as hot as the tendrils did.
Water!
You'll never defeat us.
Is mine.
Mortimer's root cannot be contained.
Air.
That was an accident.
Stronger than stone. Feel the cold. The air is mine.
Enemy down. Not that it did us much good. Sorry. This looks like a dead end.
Mordremoth's reacting to us, growing stronger defenses. We need to hit them harder to clear a path.
Stand back.
Nice work, Kaz.
Thanks, boss. Though, I'm not sure everyone would agree. Canuck's looking
Yeah, he has a, like, bottle for something.
fine.
Sorry, guys.
You try falling from portal to portal while an elder dragon buzzes in your skull. See how green you get.
Poor Canuck.
This is where they keep the live prisoners. Whoever we're looking for is somewhere nearby.
We'll get you out of here, Mom. I swear it.
Might makes me right. Spirits should be impressed.
There are enemies in the camp. Sound a general alert.
By the wind.
Feel the power of
I
the
need a
chosen
moment.
dragon.
Feel the cold. Quickly. Nothing can bring me down.
My master will save you all!
Thanks, Commander. Be advised, the Mordrim commandeered a lot of our weaponry and supplies when they took us.
On it. Now get yourself to safety, soldier.
Cannot do this alone.
Commander, wait. This one is Nightmare Court. Shall I kill it?
Work is not finished.
I don't want trouble. I just want to get out of here.
Start running and don't stop until you hit Glide.
Wow. I'm actually letting someone from the Nightmare Court live? That's different. This one's from the Nightmare Court. Shall I kill it? And I'm just like, nah, bruh. It's all good. Don't you worry. Charges and lunges. So I'm gonna place myself back here.
It all happened so fast. They hit us with some sort of poison gas, and I woke up here.
You're free now. Get clear of this place as fast as you can. Might makes me right. That's how I do it. Defense, then offense. Nothing can bring me down.
I'm ready for action. Where do you want me?
We've got things covered here. If you want to get back in the action, find Larenthir and follow his lead. Move out!
Okay. Wait, did I kill everybody? There's gotta be like stealth dudes right here, right? Or did I legit kill everyone?
That was the last one and still no sign of our people. Gritlock, are you still feeling that feeling?
Affirmative. And it's even
Affirmative.
stronger here. They're close. Just beyond those vine walls.
What are we waiting for? Tribune, put your new magic to work and clear us a path. Please!
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm paying attention to what I'm
Might
doing,
makes me
so
right.
I haven't been paying as much attention to chat because I'm making sure I don't die. Sorry guys. What? Eddie, no. Cool. I could have done that. Well, I could have burned it anyway, but still.
A rescue party. Then Wolf did hear me. In here, they're starving us. No food or water for days.
That's because Mordremoth doesn't care if we're alive or dead when it plugs us into a blighting tree. Release us! Now!
Fowlin?
Huh.
Why is Mordremoth locking up so many nightmare courtiers?
You know nothing of the court. We seek freedom. And Mordremoth's yoke is
I mean,
even
that
more
makes
onerous
sense.
than the pale tree.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Forget her. Just get me out. The Mordrin took Logan and Sosha and Traherne deeper in the jungle, and I don't know why.
Hang on, Mother. We're about to bust you out of there.
Flames!
Whoa.
Head to the overpass. We can cut it off there.
And before Air, like, dies right here because we freed it.
We have to keep moving.
That was almost her eye, dude.
I like my chances better this way.
Are you kidding me? Like, what a bitch. We were gonna save both of them. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Just kill each other. That works. Oh no!
Mother, look out!
It's like some alien stuff. Oh no. Dude, the artwork here though, like she seriously looks crazed and messed up. Oh.
No!
Yo, I told you she was gonna die. I said that she was the one that I wasn't sure about, but like I was pretty sure. If she doesn't die, then she just has plot armor, man. Although I really... Consumes foes to gain power. Yo, none of y'all better be dying, alright?
Feel the cold.
And then they die. You guys are douches. Seriously.
Nothing. Fury is mine.
Mother! Mom! Spirits!
Bram, I'm sorry.
I mean...
Me too, kid. At least she took Fowlin with her. And Fowlin died screaming like the coward she was.
We didn't actually see Fallon die, though. We just saw her get barbed and then pulled away. But we saw Air die.
There are rituals to perform. Gone. Spirits. I don't even know if he was
Oh,
with
that's
her during the
true.
crash.
Where's Garm?
And her bow. If it's in that camp, I want it.
Oh my god, Bram,
Mom,
stop.
never. We didn't have... Just let me say goodbye to her. Alone. Just go. I'll catch up. I swear to you, I'm not going to die out here. Not until I see Mordremoth fall.
That sucks.